There's always something going on in sports to talk about, but right now, just about every sport is busy with lots to discuss. We are very excited to get into it. The MLB season is in full swing. I thought that was a good joke, but the NHL playoffs begin this week, so we'll be giving our predictions for that. The NBA playoffs are heading into round two, and the NFL draft just ended. So we have our reactions and a summary of everything that went down. Zach and Conlon are here with me as always. Zach, get us started. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just finished my last week of classes of college, which is very crazy and kind of hard to believe. And I have finals week starting tomorrow. Got an 8 a.m. final, so that'll be a lot of fun to wake up early and go do that. But that's really my only one that's I really had to study for. So after that, I'm pretty much home free for the rest of the week, which is nice, except for a design symposium. But it's not like a test; it's just attendance grade on that one.
Yeah.
Conlon, how are you doing up there in Notre Dame?
Doing good. My sleep schedule's absolutely completely messed up. I've been really chilling the last few days. I've gone out to the bars for the last 5 days. So I've been staying up until 3, 4 in the morning, waking up at noon or 1. I mean, this is the latest I've slept in ever. Normally I'm fairly early riser, so it's definitely weird. We had Chegg formal, chemical engineering formal on Friday, I guess. I don't know. All the days are kind of running together now too.
That's how I've been too.
Yeah. But I mean, I haven't had classes since last Tuesday, so I'm not doing anything. I've studied today. I have to study a little bit, but I have one final and one paper due this coming week. But yeah, I've just really been chilling, been having a really good time, roommates, friends, just hanging out. Basically, my day consists of waking up at 12 or 1. I make myself breakfast or lunch, then I go play basketball for about 2 hours. And then I've been going and doing a sauna for about half an hour. And then I come home, I make dinner, and I go out to the bars.
Living the dream.
It's 4 or 5 days in a row. That's been my schedule. So not today. But yeah, it's been really fun. It's been a really good time. But for Chegg formal, so there's this kid that's in ROTC, ROTC, and he's going into the Navy next year. And he's fairly normally low key, he's fairly quiet kid, but he was really, really inebriated, I guess is the best word for it. Drank too much. And so we walked him back from the bar, and he was did not stop talking for the hour walk back. Just would not stop talking. Normally the walk's 25 minutes, but since he was just stumbling, bumbling around, it was an hour and a half. But there was at one point he goes, "Guys, I apologize for my conduct." He's like, "I know it looks I know how it looks, but I can promise you the U.S. Navy is in good hands." Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I started crying, laughing. It was so funny. But he, I got him back okay, and then went back home and just hit it. So it's been a very eventful, fun last few days.
When are you finished up with classes?
So I was done with classes last Tuesday, and now we have reading days, and then I have a final on Tuesday, and then I have a paper due Thursday night. But that's all I have. And other than that, we have senior week activities for school, different events. We have commencement ball. We're going to Chicago one day for a booze cruise. There's a picnic one day. So yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on. Thursday at the South Bend Cubs game, Cubs minor league affiliate. Yeah. It's $2 beers on Thursdays. So yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah, we had senior week this past week. And so one of our big buildings, it's now called Old Main, not Tillman. But there's a bell tower, and so we got to tour the bell tower. So we got to go all the way up it, see where the clocks were. That was going to be a lot cooler where the clock is just the clock on the wall. And then we went all the way up to the top where it's kind of it looks like a piano, but they have handles where you kind of push down to ring the bells where you can play different songs. And so we went up there, and they have a book up there that everyone who goes up there signs. So you sign and put where you're from. And then we got to go up one at a time, go up, climb up, and go where the bells were. So people were playing bells, and you're up there. It was really cool. A super good view of campus and everything. And then yesterday we got to go take our picture with the rock, the famous Howard's rock that the Clemson football players touch before they run down the hill and usually win.
Yeah.
But we got to do that, which is cool. And it was in the practice facility because they're doing construction on the stadium, putting a gigantic scoreboard up. So got my picture taken with the rock, got some free ice cream, got a bunch of free stuff. Then me and some buddies, we walked around the practice facility, like just outside it, and the place is massive. And then there's like a gate open on one side, so we're like, oh, let's just walk in a little bit. So we walk in this gate. They have like a little turf wiffle ball field in their place. They have like a whole outdoor place, like a pool, bunch of grills, and they're doing construction on it even more. I'm like, geez. So that was pretty fun. Then we decided we probably should leave before we get like arrested for tampering with the Clemson football.
Yeah.
Even though we just walked in.
That's pretty cool though.
It's crazy.
So have you guys, now that you're pretty much graduates, has enjoyed your time overall at Clemson and Notre Dame? All good things to say?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially like this last semester has probably been the most fun, I guess, or like the most laid back, like chill. Like just I've met more people this semester than I had like the last, well, I mean with COVID makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I've met so many people this last semester that like, I mean, I'll still talk to after graduation that like I'm really good friends with. So it's been a great semester.
So going back to your senior year of high school, you guys are proud of the decision that you made choosing
Absolutely.
Clemson?
Yeah.
Good stuff. No?
I would
Maybe
say
not?
yes too.
Okay.
The only reason I hesitate, I pause is because like I miss playing sports. But I didn't really have a say in that after graduation, since with my concussions.
If you know, you know.
My migraines, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I didn't really have much of a say in that. So
Would
yeah,
you have gone the soccer route?
I don't know. I really don't. I likely still would have went here, even with like if I didn't have my last concussion, I probably still would have went here, but I probably would have tried to walk on the basketball team.
Yeah. Okay.
You wouldn't have tried to be a kicker on the football team. I still think you should have.
Yeah, no, I never liked doing that, so probably not.
Well, guys, I just moved out of my dorm, and I also kind of rearranged my major a little bit. I know it's a little late for that, but
Another year of school for AJ.
yeah, no, it's one semester more, and
Oh no,
I know it's brutal. I'm doing summer classes instead of like a fall or spring
So
semester.
you're doing
but-
classes this summer.
Yeah, and then I'll have to do it next summer, and then I'm finally done. But
So you're graduating like August.
yes, yep. But I was always in fitness management, and everything I'm taking is science-based, more scientific based, and not really my strong suit whatsoever. And so I talked to some people, and I'm going to do sports management, which is more the business side of it. And so see where coaching can fit in, or some people tell me I should just like try to go my own gym, but I more like want to do my own online clientele, that type of thing, and help with nutrition. It is weird.
You should buy In Sports and redo that whole thing and just have
That'd
like
be
a
sweet.
sports performance
That'd
place
be
where you
nice.
just get a bunch of athletes and just make them good.
Yeah. It was weird moving out of my dorm though, because kind of like didn't have really good of it, because a lot of weird stuff happened this semester. It was like a part of I'm pretty sentimental with stuff, and it's like a part of a chapter in my life that's gone.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys probably think the same about Notre Dame and Clemson. Like those 4 years just came and went like no other, and
Yeah.
now it's on to something else. But
Like I was walking around campus and I was like, whoa, this like could be like literally the last time I walk in this part of campus.
it's crazy.
Yeah. So, well, two things on that. One, we played the bookstore basketball, right? And we lost in the Sweet 16. That team we lost to ended up, they were the runner up. So, and I think other than the team that beat them in the championship game, we played them closer than anyone else. So pretty cool. But after that game, I was like, I'm literally never gonna play like organized basketball again. I was like, dang, like that's a chapter closed. So, and then my dad came up. He was driving through since he was working in Pittsburgh, and so he was. I mean, it's basically on the way. Adds like 30 minutes or something. So he came up to visit just for an after or like a morning, and yeah, I mean, I walked him around campus, like took him in some of the academic buildings because he's been up here. I guess that was his third time, but never really like wanted to see like everything. He was just like, yeah, we'll see the dome, we'll see the touchdown Jesus. Like, I don't really need to see anything else. Was like, let's just walk around, and then it was pretty cool because I was like, I haven't been in some of these buildings since like last year or like a year ago, 2 years ago. So like, it was pretty interesting because I spent literally all my time here freshman, sophomore year.
Yeah.
And now like, since I'm in all my engineering classes, I'm just not here. So, and I'm not on campus. So it's like, I'm not going to walk out of my way for these like places I used to have class in or like studying.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
AJ, are you going to get an apartment next year?
I'm going to live at home until.
You're going to commute every day?
No, I'm doing all online classes besides one.
Oh, really?
But I was going to say what day I'm not going to be living at home, but let's just say not very soon, as I've got some wedding plans, and proposal plans in the making. So whenever that happens is when I will not be living at home, but I'm not obviously going to give the date away. But I do want to get on to our Did You See It's of the week.
Ooh, a little teaser for the,
Yeah,
the fans.
Does Hannah listen to this, or is she going to be surprised, or do we just?
Oh no. I mean, we've always planned.
No, she doesn't listen to this now.
No, we've always planned ever since we started dating. I was a freshman, she was a sophomore. We had planned once we graduate college. That's when we wanted to get married. I think that's probably what Zach, your mindset was too. So she knows it's coming up soon. I have a whole day planned out, and I have the whole thing planned out. She doesn't know a single thing. She knows I have it planned, obviously, but
yeah.
Well, so nothing I said is giving anything away.
Zach didn't wait until after he graduated college to propose, and now AJ, it looks like you're just keep pushing that date back for you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be 28. So, let's get on to our Did You See It's here. Mine happened, I believe. I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday. It was like a little mini brawl happened between the Cardinals and Mets.
I did see that.
A bunch of hit by pitches back and forth. So earlier in the series, Steven Matz hit a couple guys. Chris Bassett hit a guy, and then Cody Whitley for us hit Alonso in the head. And Alonso was obviously very frustrated. He was hit in the head earlier this year, and then was in a car wreck. I don't know if you two knew that. A very bad car wreck. His car was destroyed. They don't even know how he made it out.
Jeez, how's he even playing? Did he
get
injured?
He literally had no harm to him at all. But the picture of the car is ridiculous. But he got hit in the head with a changeup. I want to mention that a changeup by Cody Whitley. McFarland came in. He hit Marte with the bases loaded. Marte was upset, but you got hit with the bases loaded. You got an RBI. He's obviously not trying to hit you.
For sure we intentionally hit them with the bases loaded.
Yeah, come on. Hennessy's hit a guy, but what's new? And then Carlos Carrasco hit Sosa. Again, Sosa hit just about every other day, it seems like. And then I don't have the guy's first name, but Lopez threw up and in on Nato, and it was a 10-5 ninth inning. And we all knew probably if something was coming. And even after the game, Arenado said he expected something. It didn't even hit him, but it brushed him, near the face region.
Dome.
And near the dome, and he didn't like it. And he actually, I think he was kind of calm about it at first. He was obviously upset, but Lopez walking towards him, I think, set him off, and he threw Tomas Nido, the catcher, completely out of the way and charged him out. It wasn't anything serious. We've obviously seen worse ones in past years, but Arenado was suspended 2 games. I'm most upset about this whole thing because he appealed the suspension and he got it down to 1 game, and that 1 game was the game I went to, and we lost.
It was on his bobblehead day.
Yeah, exactly. Some this was Why would they bench Arenado on his bobblehead day? I'm like, you don't even know what's going on. But that was my did you see it? He was back today and he actually homered. So what do you guys got?
I love that video of Goldie running off the bench. He was absolutely trucking.
Yachty was with him too.
That was
That's the
so
fastest I've ever
funny.
seen Yachty run.
Yeah, but like how Goldschmidt runs, it just looks so funny because
I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks he runs weird. I've thought that for a while. Funny guy.
I think the best part was Gallegos not going out the door and just hopping over the wall and then just starts sprinting.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool to see too. Get in there for your teammates. So
yeah, so I got 3. There's a lot of stuff going on.
You always got a load of did you see it to share.
I'm always up with the news.
Yep.
My first one is, I know you guys saw this one, but Yankees fans being classy as always, throwing trash at the Guardians outfielders after they won the walk-off. After the Yankees won on a walk-off. I don't know who hit the walk-off, but yeah, just like not a great sight for Yankees fans. Just literally, it wasn't just like one can. It was like everyone was throwing stuff at I don't know who the right fielder was.
It was Mercado.
Mercado.
Yeah.
And then also Miles Straw jumping on the wall, yelling at the fans. We won't say the words.
Yep.
And so it was kind of crazy. I wasn't expecting that. And like the Mets fans are awful. I'm assuming Yankee fans are also awful.
So based off what the Yankees did, I've had this discussion with people before. Do you like the Yankees or Red Sox more? Because if I'm picking between the two, I would usually probably pick the Yankees. But this was not a good look by their fan base at all.
That's a tough one.
I know.
I think I would normally lean towards the Yankees because I think there's also more rivalry like between Boston and us and other sports.
That's very true.
But I've always liked the Yankees uniforms. I love the pinstripes. I mean, growing up, like some of my favorite players like were Mickey Mantle, like Yogi Berra, and so I've never really despised the Yankees as much as other people do.
Yeah, so my next, did you see it, is it happened to a really good person, a really good guy.
I can already sense the sarcasm.
Angel Hernandez, probably one of the best umpires of all time, made some bad calls the Phillies game, and Kyle Schwarber just had enough. And it was really a close game, and Kyle Schwarber, he launched that. He had probably a exit velocity of 60 miles an hour on that bat hitting the ground, and he let Angel Hernandez know that he did not like that strikeout call.
Yep. If you guys haven't seen the video, it's on our TikTok, by the way. A little shout out there. But
did you give analysis, AJ?
I did not. It was just the video of it.
Well, it was also great too because he was complaining about the pitch he just got called a strike, but he's also complaining about the entire game. He's like, you missed here, you missed here. He's like, you missed high, like inside, outside, and then
and he was like, you're missing on for both teams too.
Yeah.
What was it?
I think everyone was pretty happy about him like losing his mind because I think I think I sent it to you. Like they do the umpire scorecards.
Yeah,
he had the worst percentage of any ball year. I think it was like 84%.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Balls and strikes. Well, that's horrible.
He does this yearly.
Yeah,
and I mean,
he missed a pitch. He called a strike on a pitch that was 6.5 inches inside.
Oh my god!
And that's like by far the most all year. So
yeah,
I mean, can you if that was me on the plate, that hits me. I used to stand close to the plate. Like that's just absurd.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So my last one, it's not baseball, but it's football. I guess all these were sports related. You guys know who Laremy Tunsil is, right? Offensive tackle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when he got drafted?
Yes.
The gas mask video. It literally just came out, and it came to light or got posted. I don't know. Right when the draft, right about before start, and it's him wearing like a gas mask, hitting like a bong or something. And so he announced a couple days ago that he was turning like a capture of that, not the video, into an NFT, and he was going to sell it.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Getting into the game.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Colin, you got one?
Yeah, I did. I had one. It's fairly old. I don't know if it was actually even in the last week. It might have been 2 or like 10 days ago or something. But Brian Reynolds for the Pirates had the softest triple ever, like in the last
Oh, dude. Yeah.
like 16 years, AJ. If you saw it too, I
Yeah.
don't know if
Yeah.
my date's right there. But yeah, like 49 miles an hour off the bat. And so it went to the left field corner and they had the shift on. So I think the third baseman was covering second. And so the announcers like go to third as soon as the throw is coming in from left field to second. And so the throw like at second was fairly close, but he just didn't stop and he just took off for third and just like basically just rounded the bag and just took off. Like did it really well and he was safe by a mile. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the throw came in like right when he was hitting the second base bag. Like it was like
he just ran by it.
I know he just sprinted. Yeah. That was good. Let's get into some baseball talk here though. We'll always start with the Cardinals weekly update here. We lost 2 of 3 to the Mets. I mentioned the Mets series and I did you see it. And then before today, we had lost 2 of 3 to the Diamondbacks. Those 2 games out of those, 6, now 7 that we won, we had 15 hits in both of them. And then everything else, absolutely nothing. We mentioned before, like our big guys aren't hitting, and the Arenado suspension yesterday didn't help. But Goldie started to get hot. We had mentioned he needed to get it going. Carlson has been non-existent. He's now in the 7-hole today. And then Neal is another guy that just has not got it going yet. And then obviously, the Mendoza line is 200. Yeah. My dad and I called the Young line is 100 because he's just sitting around there. He had a clutch double today, which helped. But
the Young line.
Yeah. I have no hate for DeYoung either. Like I'm constantly cheering for the guy because he was an all-star. Like
yes, I was thought about that today. He was an all-star that his like first or second year, and when he came up, he hit 300, and then he's just consistently done worse hitting average every single year.
Yeah,
and all off season he was training with like a personal hitting coach, and he looked great in spring training. As soon as the regular season started, he's batting like 145, something just ridiculous.
And I don't know if you guys know, he's a really smart guy. Some kind of, I don't remember what his major was coming out of Illinois State, but I mean, he's a really bright guy, and everything, people have said about him, he's very smart. So my dad and I constantly thought he would figure it out, and he just hasn't yet. Again, he had a clutch double today, which helped. His defense is always solid. But even you can have a really good first half of the year and make an all-star team. We've seen that in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not a 140 hitter. Like I always pictured 230, 240 with 25 homers. And what we have in our lineup, that's okay. But he's got to get above 145 or Sosa's going to take his job. And I'm going to get into some like minor league prospects we got in a little bit. But I mean, DeYoung's job is, I give him 20, 30 games maybe to been out, or something about it. The pitching has been fantastic though.
Yes. The one thing we were worried about, pitching, has been pretty good. Pretty solid.
It's crazy.
Also, AJ, I looked it up real quick here. He had a degree in biochem with a pre-med emphasis. So he was going to go to med school if baseball didn't work out. So I don't know. Maybe might be going back to med school soon.
Maybe it'll be our trainer.
Maybe so. Now, Michaelis has been fantastic. Again, I went to the game yesterday and 7 innings, got into the 8th with 91 pitches and gave up a couple dots, but he's been fantastic. I think his ERA is 1.5 now after those 2 home runs, but he's been
like that start was amazing, even though he gave up the 2 runs. Mm-hmm. If you go almost 8 innings and give up 2 runs, like that's a really good start, and you'd hope your offense would at least do something.
Yeah, he got the loss.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially against Arizona.
Yeah.
Thank God we split with them.
Yeah, we needed that comeback today for sure. Dakota Hudson's been great. His last 2 starts. I don't have the numbers pulled up. He had I think it was Arizona. 6
Yes.
innings, like 1 hit. He had a no-hitter into the 6th.
Yeah.
And then his start before that was good. I want to see Matz tomorrow against the Royals get it going. That would be nice. And then obviously Flaherty I saw thrown on the mound recently. Nothing serious. I mean, but hopefully we'll get him back maybe at the end of May or early June, something like that.
Hopefully he'll help.
Yeah.
How many runs did Hicks give up today?
He gave up 2. And they
Yeah,
were both
2 home
solo
runs.
homers, yeah. And then I think the Diamondbacks are like 11 or not after the day. I think they're 10 and 12, which is not terrible. And their starting pitching is fantastic. Like Mad Bum has a 1 ERA. Merrill Kelly is the guy I saw yesterday. He was just mowing us down. And then Zach Davies pitched pretty well today. I'm trying to remember Zach Gallen. We had traded him in the Ozuna trade.
Oh, really?
For Ozuna. We traded him and Sandy. He was part of that. And then he went to Arizona later. But he's been great. But their team batting average is like 165.
It's
like
horrible. It's the worst in the league. But also that trade is looking better and better for us every day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Sandy struggled today, but Sandy is one that I would not have, now that we know what he is, that's a bad one to let go.
Yeah.
Ozuna was honestly good while he was here. I had no problem with him. He had a noodle arm and left, but
yeah, that was the only thing. His defense was bad, but he was productive hitting.
Mm-hmm. That's all I had Cardinals wise. Do you guys have anything else? I think we play Kansas City in the next 3 or so.
Waino's been a little disappointing start of the year, I thought. So
Matz has been
very disappointing.
Besides just that one start where he pitched good, he's been awful. I think Hicks, even though he's given up some runs, his stuff is ridiculous. He threw a slider today where it moved so much, and I was just like, it was nuts.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got to work through like consistency things because he's a starter now. He can't be throwing 104 miles an hour every pitch, so he's got to figure that out. He's got to figure out like how much he can give on every pitch and just kind of go from there. But
I think every start he's had just one or 2 pitches where they haven't been good, and then they get a run. He's given up a run every single game he's pitched, even though I still, when you watch it, it looks like he's pitching really good. He just throws a mistake up there and they hit it.
See him get to like 65 pitches though.
That's good.
We keep seeing like 40 pitches, 2 innings or something. Let him go a little longer today. His last 2 pitches, one was behind a batter, and then one was like outside. No. So I think it was we're gonna get thrown at coming up here. I did want to get into those prospects that we have coming through the minors. We have a few actually, like more than what I put down, but there's 4 that have been standing out. For any Cardinals fans listening, Gorman's in AAA, and he's knocking at the door. He's a top prospect. I think he's our number 1 prospect, if not
him or Jordan Walker.
Okay. Yeah, Jordan might be up there now. But Nolan's batting .340 with 11 homers already in AAA, and it's not like a hot streak either. He had been doing this the last part of last season in AAA. So they sent down Lars Nootbaar. They bring up Brendan Donovan, and Donovan's a nice, Tommy Edman type guy, little
he can play
scrappy guy. Yeah, kind of a utility guy. But I want to know what you guys think about if Young continues to struggle. Would you be open to moving Tommy Edman to short and Gorman go to second? Or are you against maybe throwing off the rhythm of Eddie at second? I mean, he's a Gold Glove second baseman, and just kind of, put Gorman and Albert righty-lefty matchup.
Either of those seem fine with me. Just add a spark. The game we just played today, we hit 2 home runs, and that was the first time in the last 10 games before this, we only hit 1 home run. We've had not a lot of power. Just add another left-handed bat, because we only have Dickerson really and Edman, and I guess Carlson when they're switch hitters, but they're better against left-handed pitchers. Mm-hmm. But also, didn't Edman come up as a shortstop? Or am I
thought he did. I thought he played short at Stanford when he was there.
I think Edmonds so smart and hard worker. I think if you'd put him literally anywhere on the field, even at catcher, he could probably become a Gold Glover.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit of a stretch, but I think he'd be solid. I think you have to try something. I mean, with the young, he's not, if he doesn't get going, like AJ, you said, like 20, 30 games, you have to try something else. And I'm fine with, I mean, like you said, split righty lefty with Gorman and Pujols. Totally fine with that for, I mean, the next 20, 30 games, and then give Sosa a chance. But I think Sosa needs more of like a consistent chance instead of playing like every few games.
Yeah.
And because he played well for us last year. So give him a chance and see what happens. And then, I mean, go from there. So you can do one of those two things. But I think he needs to be brought up like now.
Yeah, I agree.
He also isn't on the 40-man roster. So they're gonna have to whatever they designate for assignment or whatever you have to do.
You could let one of those like Verhagen or Packy you could let one of those guys go.
But I think also if we keep them for a certain time, we get another year of arbitration with them. So that could also be in play.
Yeah, that's true. They had brought up Lars Nootbaar to start the season, and from all that I've seen of him, he looked really lost, and that wasn't like the Lars that we saw last year. I haven't kept up with what he's done since he's been put back down.
He hit pretty good when he first got back down there.
Okay, of course. But no, I agree, Conlon. I think Gorman needs a chance now. He is only 21, but I think he's with our offense kind of sputtering a little bit, and him obviously proving himself already down there. I think it's time to bring him up. Another name, Zach and I, we were talking about this off camera. Moises Gomez is like a 22 or 23-year-old.
I think he's 23.
23. Corner outfielder in Double-A Springfield for us. 11 homers, and he's batting over 400. Just absolutely tearing the cover off the baseball. So he's another name. Usually we're like a pitching organization, but we got some hitters that are coming up here. Another name is Matthew Libertor. He's a name that most Cardinals fans should know, and if you don't, get used to it because he's going to be here a while. We got him in the Randy Arozarena trade. His last 3 starts, he's gone 7 innings and given up 1 or fewer runs. He's in Memphis as well.
Improved a lot this year so far.
He would be a name that would be the next guy up, pitching-wise probably. And then my last guy I put down is all the way in Single-A Peoria, but we drafted him last year, and he's already, I think, 21. He spent a couple years at college, so he's an older guy, and he has he's 1-0 in his 4 starts. He's got a .7 ERA, 25 strikeouts in 23 innings, and only 1 walk. Michael McGreevy is his name, and we always call him McGroovy around my house. But
we did draft him last year. He was our first pick.
Yeah, I mean he's been. I think they're going to move him to Springfield. He's one of those guys that. Like I think we thought about it with Hudson a couple years ago in the playoffs. If you like, he could be ready now. If you needed another arm in the bullpen, that type of guy.
I think they drafted him and said he had really good control. That was one of the big.
That's literally that's a huge point for him. He again, like I said, 25 strikeouts and 1 walk. And his time down there.
Not too shabby.
He's mowing guys down. I think he's only like 92 to 94, maybe. Nothing like electric, but very good location and a name that Cardinals fans should get used to. Do you guys have anything like around the league that has stood out?
I had the standings up here.
I
was just kind of looking
how bad the Reds have been.
Yeah, very bad.
How we are one of their wins.
Yep.
They're 11.5 back of the Brewers already.
I mean, it just blows my mind. Again, we talked about this. I made a TikTok about it all, but just
TikTok dance.
No. I know. No. Completely shocking to me that they're that bad when they were pretty competitive these last 2 years. I mean, they just let everybody go. The Mets had a no-hitter the other night. I think it was Friday night. Combined no-hitter.
Yeah, we don't care about them.
I was about to say, do you guys feel the same as me? Not as special.
The pond scum? No, don't like them.
I have a quick question. I think Zach, you're about to say something. I wanted to mention. Do you think I was watching MLB Network the other night? Do you think that no hitters, single pitcher no hitters are a thing of the past. Because a lot of people think it's just like bad managing having, for example, Yohan Santana throw one against us 140 pitches and then kind of like not be the same guy at all after that.
Well, he was
So
also like really kind of old then, I think.
Yeah, I thought he was old too. But do you guys think that's a thing of the past? And we won't see as often? I mean, 2 years ago, we saw like 6 in the first 3 months.
I think we'll still see him, especially now. If you look at the league average is pitiful right now. So hitters are kind of sucking right now and pitching's getting better.
Yep.
So I think we'll still see a lot of them.
Yeah, I agree.
We won't see his perfect games are still hard to do. So those are still.
So every stadium has a humidor now, I believe. They were talking about that. And so that may be a reason why. I mean, a lot of home fallen shortly. The Diamondbacks hit like 5 against the Cardinals today, but there was like 4 or 5 in the game yesterday that we hit, and I thought it was gone, and they just did not go anywhere. I mean, it just fell on the warning track.
Was it colder yesterday?
Yeah, that's another part of it. Once the weather like warms up, you're going to see like Goldie and O'Neal start mashing some out, I believe.
Well, that's another thing. Goldie's been starting to hit really good lately.
Yes. I mean, the other day we had, I think it was like 12 singles. I don't think we had any extra base hits. But,
well, to go back around the league, I was just kind of looking at some of the standings. A couple teams that are below 500 that I'm surprised under is Boston's under 500 right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the White Sox are under 500. And those are 2 teams where they should be in playoff contention. And White Sox, we had them kind of running away with their division. We really didn't have them in any, like, they were easy dub. But
I know they've had a lot
some
of injuries. Yeah, a lot of injuries.
That's been like their thing the last couple of years. They've had a lot of injuries. So
it's really messing them up. The Yankees have won 8 straight games. They didn't start real hot, but Judge has homered in his last 4. Another team that like we all 3 were high on, the Los Angeles Angels are 14-8 to start the season, and before yesterday they had won 6 straight. Trout is on a tear right now.
Probably their best pickup is Syndergaard.
Yes, he's been great. I have
they've needed for years.
He's helping
pitching, and they always go get a batter.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got Albert Pujols, Josh Hamilton. It didn't turn out the way they wanted.
No.
Rendon, he's been solid. Justin Upton, but they never get pitching.
Yeah. And then, do you guys know the name Taylor Ward? He's a center. He's their center fielder. He's batting 404, 5 homers, 13 RBIs. His OPS is 1347. So it's
that's pretty good.
And everything out of the water. And then the Marlins are 11-8. That's another team I had written down.
I saw that.
6 straight wins for the Marlins.
Let's go.
Crazy.
I always like Miami because everyone always just counts them out right away.
Yeah.
Such a small market too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
fans.
The team, the Rockies, how they started so hot, I think they were like 10-4 or whatever. They had a 4-game road trip to Philadelphia, and they got hammered in every game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, so last year, the Rockies, like at Coors Field, they were, if you just play like at home, they had like, I'm trying to think how to phrase this. I'm doing a really poor job, but they played every game, 160 games at home. They were on pace to win like 105 games. And if they played 160 games away, they were on pace to win like 40.
Yeah.
So it's like they're so bad on the road. It's just like is absurd. And then they win. I mean, I don't know what's the map there. They win 70% of their games at Coors Field. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Oh, I have a question for you. I just kind of thought of. Would you, seeing how DeYoung's playing right now, would you want Trevor Story? Like Trevor Story hasn't been playing good at Boston. I think I'd still say no because
I would say no.
I think I'm going to go no too, just because Gorman's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to pay Trevor Story a lot of money, and as his stats have shown, he is not that great away from Coors Field.
Yeah. I was the one of us three that kind of wanted Story. You two kept like telling me kind of know about it, and I'm with you guys now. I love the idea of Nolan Gorman being our second baseman and Tommy Evan being our shortstop. I'm afraid that might throw off Tommy, but Tommy, like you said, can just adjust wherever he goes.
That one year he played a different position like every game.
Yeah.
Played right field for most of the season.
This is one of the weirdest things in baseball I've seen in a while. Dalton Varsho for the Diamondbacks, he plays catcher. He played catcher today and bat leadoff. Yesterday he was in center field, and then the game before that he was at second base. It's one of the weirdest combinations of positions I've ever seen.
That's nuts.
I thought that was odd.
Is he really fast?
He stole second base today. Yeah, like right off the bat. Or no, Kisner threw him out. But yeah, I mean he's a fast
Kisner's
guy.
been playing really good.
Kisner's been great, and Yachty on the other hand has been not.
Very true.
Shallow center field is just about as far as he can hit the ball now. So, I do have one more thing MLB wise. I'm going to give you guys 5 names, and you got to cut one of them off the list. I think I know what name we're going to cut off the list, because I agree with you guys. But so it's third base edition. So we're going to start with Nolan Arenado, Jose Ramirez, Alex Bregman, Manny Machado, and Rafael Devers. So Zach, you can start us off here. Who would you cut in that list?
Arenado and Ramirez locks.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the one I'm going to pick is not. I don't know if it's necessarily on his ability. I just don't like him. And that would be Bregman.
Oh yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Because Devers is actually a really good hitter. Honestly, I think that Devers is a better hitter than Bregman.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not as good defensively. And Manny Machado is just super consistent. And Bregman's just a tool.
Yeah. What do you think, Colin?
Yeah, I agree. I think he's also not having a very good year, if I'm right. But yeah, no, I just don't like him.
I'll go Bregman as well. If I wanted to go off my least favorite list, though, I think Machado would probably be my guy to get rid of. But I think Machado is better than Bregman, so I went with Bregman as well.
Machado,
you guys have
like San Diego players. I have not heard anything about San Diego. It's kind of just flying under the radar.
Well, when Tatis is in the lineup, they're in the news every single day. So
ESPN can't get enough of Tatis.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to look them up here. They are they're 15-8.
That whole division's really good so far.
The Giants are having a good season. Kind of shocking everybody. I mean, shocked everybody last year. A bunch of no-name guys, really. Yeah, the Dodgers are obviously great. The Rockies are 13-9, and Arizona's 10-13. Yeah, they're hanging around. Do you guys have anything else baseball-wise before we move on to hockey? I'm pretty excited for this hockey segment coming up.
I don't think I have anything.
I got
Good to move on?
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to our hockey segment. We have our NHL playoff predictions. The playoffs start Monday night, which this is a Sunday that we're filming on. So tomorrow night, and the Blues actually play at 8. But I'm gonna go off like the NHL bracket challenge and go down from that list, if that's okay with you guys.
It won't matter to me.
So let's start in the Central with the Avalanche and the Predators.
Colorado's going to kick their ass.
Predators in 4.
It's not going to be close. I mean, Colorado's going to win in 4 or 5.
Okay. I don't like picking sweeps, so yeah, I went Colorado in 5.
I went 5 as well.
I'm going to do 4.
Okay. Below that, we have the Blues and the Wild.
I have St. Louis in 7. I think we have more depth scoring, and 2 of their top scorers are out. Zuccarello and Foligno are both out, or at least day to day. So I don't know. I mean, that messes up their top line for sure with it's Zuccarello, Fiala, and the Russian Kaprizov.
Yeah. Hartman's up there, I think.
Hartman. Okay.
Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, I think we just have a little more depth, but we're both a really heavy team. we're very similar teams. So
Very.
I think it's going to go 7 games, and I hope we win. So picking us in 7.
Who you got, Zach?
Take the Blues.
Okay.
And also, haven't we played the Wild really good this year?
Yes.
For the last like 3 years,
Yeah.
we're like 13-1-2 against them.
Well, so yeah.
But this year, the 2 games we did play them were both at home, and we won in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm going Blues in 6. Same thing you said. We just have more scoring depth. We have 3 lines that can roll out and be. I mean, I mentioned it. I think last week we have 4 lines really that could go out and be the best line every night. I don't know Shen's status. He missed the last couple.
he's day to day. I don't know
Okay.
what. Like, I don't have much an update other than that.
The one thing for me, and we have talked about it all year, is the defense and goaltending. And if we're going to make a run for a Stanley Cup, we need Benner to be like he was in 2019, or we need Husso to stand tall. That's a big ask. I personally think.
Need
I
Bennington
always,
to go psycho mode.
It's a
Seriously.
big question mark. Yeah.
Yes. Going down. Do you guys want to do the whole Central, or just move down to Pacific?
But no, let's go.
Let's do the first
Go
round.
down. Yeah.
Okay. So Calgary and Dallas is down here.
Yeah, I have Calgary in 5.
Calgary,
I have Calgary in 5.
Dallas is horrible.
5.
Yeah.
They're so bad to watch. I'm pretty sure they have a negative goal differential, and they've only won like, I don't know, hardly any. Like, I like looking at regulation wins because I think the 3-on-3 playoff format or the 3-on-3 overtime format
Mhm.
really doesn't speak to how like tough you're going to play in the postseason, basically, because it's a speed game, it's a skill game. It's not 5-on-5 hockey. It's completely different. So I think teams that win in regulation during the regular season have a much better chance to win. So
That's a very good point.
Yeah, Dallas has -8 differential.
This next matchup I find very interesting. The Oilers and the Kings. The Oilers are obviously more talented, at least their 2 lines or whatever. But can they make a run finally with McDavid and Draisaitl? And if not, is it time to split them up or move on? Or you obviously have to make some changes. Personally, have the Kings in 7 beating the Oilers solely because the Kings have kind of been underlooked all year. Nobody expected them to do anything coming into the season. And I think their goaltending is better. They have Jonathan Quick, who obviously has been there and done that. And then Cal Peterson is a very good backup. They kind of just really split the time between the 2. And Oilers goalie Mike Smith, and I could not remember the European guy they have as well. I can't remember his name.
is it Koskinen?
Koskinen, yes. I don't trust as much as I do Quick this time of year. It's been, I don't know, 6 years since he was that quick. But what do you guys have?
I'm gonna go Oilers.
In 6. Yeah, I just don't think the Kings are like a very good team. And I know that, I mean, Jonathan Quick can completely shut Edmonton down, but I think the Oilers are too talented. And they've been playing really good since they picked up, what's his name? The guy that's got all the problems.
Kane,
yeah.
Yeah, Evander Kane. And I think Mike Smith, their goalie, has played pretty well as of late. So I have Edmonton 6. Yeah.
just can't give up. Like, Edmonton can probably score because they got 2 of the best players in the league. You can give up a couple goals, just give up less than you score.
I think the biggest concern I have with Edmonton, one obviously is goaltending, but also I think that I'm trying to find like injury update here, but I think Darnell Nurse is day to day, who's obviously their best defender. Yeah, he's been out for the last week and a half with a lower body injury. So he's day to day. And I don't know. I think that would be that. I mean, that's going to be a really big problem if he's not playing.
Huge problem. Do you guys want to go up Central and then work our way back down? Do the whole
I'm good with whatever.
Do the whole
Yeah,
Western
okay.
Conference first. So we have Blues against the Avalanche in the second round. Well, Zach, you get us started here. What do you got here?
Yeah, have the smartest hockey person here get us started. I'm just gonna go Blues in 7 just because. Why not?
Okay.
Even though it'd be very difficult because I know the Avalanche are very good.
Yeah, I have the Avalanche. I don't think we match up very well against Colorado at all. I don't think we have for the last 3 years, and I don't love, I guess, our goaltending situation. So
I'm with you, Conlon, sadly. I have the Avalanche in 6. I think we'll win a couple, but just like you said, and like we mentioned before, Husto and Benner have to be fantastic, and the defense has to be extremely on point if we can beat them. And I just don't see that happening a whole season.
and every time we play Colorado, Binnington just plays like absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
I don't know,
He really
like,
does.
It's horrible. So I don't know the split on that. I just know like every time we play them, he gives up like 7 goals and gets pulled.
Yeah.
So
I mean, obviously, I hope we win. Man, I really hope we beat them, though. They beat us last year. I just remember that like ill feeling in my stomach about it. But
I also hate Colorado. So
oh yeah,
Stan Kroenke team.
yeah,
it's
exactly.
probably. Would you say it's our biggest rival? I mean, Blackhawks obviously aren't.
No, because they
competitive,
always beat us.
Okay.
Um,
Dallas is always kind of chippy with us.
Dallas is always chippy with us, and also since we're in the same division, I mean, well, our entire division is kind of like chippy teams. Like us, Minnesota, and Nashville are all fairly similar.
Yeah.
In terms of like size and chippiness. So
speaking of Nashville, we I think we all said like, or Zach said Avs in 4. You and I said Avs in 5. They're without Saros, I believe.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
He was injured as the last game of the season, and he was like carried off. It did not look good. I guess he could be back. I haven't read up on it, but that might play also a role in the sweep. But Calgary and Edmonton is down here in the Pacific Division.
He's day to day as well. That's what he's
okay. Yeah, nothing. Calgary, Edmonton.
I have Calgary. I just think they're a better team. Much better goaltending. I think. Oh, Johnny Gaudreau. I think there's a solid chance he wins the MVP award. So
yeah,
I hope he does. I hope someone on Edmonton doesn't win it, just because I'm still salty about 2 years ago when Draisaitl won it with like a negative 17 goal differential.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I have Calgary as well, solely because of Markstrom. Obviously, they can score tremendous, but Markstrom has been one of the best goalies in hockey all year. And you mentioned the Gaudreau thing last week. Would you take Gaudreau as that winner over like Igor Shesterkin or
Matthews? I would probably take Matthews.
Okay, I think he finished with 60.
He did, yeah.
Yeah. Zach, who you got? Calgary or Edmonton?
Calgary.
Okay. And then we have Calgary and Colorado for me and Conlon. I have Calgary making it to the finals. That's my little like kind of upset.
I also have Calgary.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'll pick Calgary too.
All right. So we got
Peer
Calgary in the
pressure being
finals. Let's move to the East here. So Florida and Washington. I mean, the East, we've mentioned it week after week. This is kind of insane. Some of these matchups in the first round of the playoffs, but Florida and Washington is the first matchup here. I have Florida in 6, actually. I think Washington's going to push them a little bit. But what do you guys have, Conlon?
Sorry, I'm trying to find Binnington stats against the Avalanche.
Okay.
But so Florida, Washington.
Yeah.
I have Florida in 5.
Okay.
I know Washington's been pretty good lately, but I think Florida's just a better team. Ovi might be out. He's day to day as well. So yeah, I got Florida.
Florida as well. They've been just tearing it up all year long. So
yep.
They did lose their last game though. So
they lost their last game. I think they gave up 10 goals. I don't know who. I don't know.
They
if
probably
they
sat a bunch of people.
They must have.
I don't think they did.
Oh,
they
really?
sat some. They sat some, but
because they gave up like 10 goals, and like their goalie that night had 34 saves, which just shows like they were just throwing pucks on net the entire night.
They have
Yeah.
given up a lot of goals. They've just scored so many more than
Mhm.
everyone else.
Yep.
which I don't really think will happen in the playoffs. So,
I agree with that. This next matchup we have is the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning are coming off back-to-back Stanley Cup championships. Can they win a third one? Who do you guys have in this matchup?
Tampa Bay got the
I have Tampa.
experience. Don't they have like a really good goaltender, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
they're the
Vasilevsky.
best goalie in the
Yeah.
world.
Sweet name, Vasilevsky.
Oh, did you see the player polls came out? The NHL player polls where they like vote on. So like the one I'm thinking of is it was like what if you had to win one game, what goalie would you want on your team? And like 40% of players said they'd want Vasilevsky, which is
Wow.
kind of funny because like the next closest was like 10%. So
Wow.
It's funny.
Now he's been there and done that. Obviously, I like the Maple Leafs a lot. They're my second team that I follow a lot. But we've mentioned also before they can't get out of the first round, and I have to say I don't think they will this year either. The thing with Tampa Bay though, they have played a lot of hockey these last, and this is a tough Eastern Conference. It's fine. It's got to wear on them eventually, right?
yeah.
But we'll see going into this round. This next matchup we have is Carolina, the Hurricane versus the Boston Bruins. I have Carolina in 7. I think it's going to be back and forth. Boston's tough. Hate Boston, but they're very tough. And Carolina has been kind of just running through everybody all season. But Zach, get us started here. Who you got?
I'm picking Carolina. One, because I hate Boston. Also, just this is what I do every time I talk about NHL. I just pull up the standings and look at the stats and just base basically everything off these stats. They've given up the fewest amount of goals out of everyone in this whole year. And as we know, I know AJ doesn't know this, but defense wins championships.
All right.
I actually so this is the one division where I was like, I have no idea whatsoever. Like I actually have Boston in 6 because Freddie Anderson's out. He's not playing game 1, and who knows when he'll be back. So Carolina's rolling with a backup goaltender. And these two are the best. These are the 2 best defensive teams in the NHL. And Boston has a pretty good goaltending duo, which I think will help in the playoffs. And Omar, who's I guess they're like 1A goalie, has been playing like really, really good lately. So I have Boston actually.
Wow. Okay.
Trader.
This next matchup is the New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Another tremendous matchup. I know, Conlon, you've been really high on the Penguins all year. I'm going Rangers in 7 because of Igor Shesterkin solely, and I think their top lines kind of match up comparably to Pittsburgh. But Zach, who do you got here?
I'm gonna go Rangers because of that goalie. I'm not gonna try to pronounce his name.
Yeah, Shesterkin.
Yeah.
I also have the Rangers. I have them in 6. I was really high on Pittsburgh, but they've played really, really poorly the last month, and their starting goalie's hurt. So
yeah,
it's just, I mean, and I don't think you're going to beat Shesterkin for 4 games when you just, I mean, yeah, New York's just, I think, better team. The only thing that worries me about them, and they have gotten better, so like, the advanced stats and everything, New York was a really bad 5-on-5 team earlier this year, but since I think the start of the new year, I guess, they've been pretty solid at 5-on-5 as well. And of course their power play has been really good as well. So I have New York.
Moving back up to the Atlantic, we have Florida and Tampa Bay. I have Florida here, and that goes back to what I was saying about just Tampa playing a whole lot of hockey. Could Vasilevsky just solely take over the whole series? Sure, but I'm going off of just like so much hockey being played. Florida's been so dominant all year. I'm going Florida in.
The 2 in the state where hockey is probably the biggest, Florida. I'm gonna pick the Panthers. I agree with AJ where Tampa Bay's they've been on this hot streak for the last couple of years, but it's hard to win a championship 3 years in a row. I don't even know if really one's done it besides like when Bill Russell played with the Celtics or
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going Panthers, and their offense is crazy. But it'd be kind of fun seeing the best offense go against one of the best goalies.
I think so. I know Montreal did it like in the 60s. I think Toronto also did it in the 60s. And the Islanders did it they won 4 in a row in the 80s. And there maybe one other team. Did the Penguins ever get there? I know they won 2 in a row, like
They definitely won 2. I don't know about 3.
couple like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just this one's really hard for me because I think like Florida has more skill, more speed. They've been obviously really good all year, and Bobrovsky's played really well. But Tampa's been there. I think I'm rooting for Florida, but I find it very, very difficult to root against, or not root against, but like pick against Vasilevsky. I mean, he's just so freaking good. And I think he's going to turn it on in the playoffs. So, but I also think Tampa has a more difficult road since they got to play Toronto in the first round, who's a much better team than Washington. So I did originally have Tampa, and now I think I'm talking myself out of it. But also Florida's missing their top defender, Nhl. He's been out 2 months now, month and a half. But they haven't really missed a beat with him out. So I'm gonna go with Florida in 6.
Okay. Yeah, I think I said Florida in 6 too.
Go back sport there.
Yeah, I was just like, I didn't walk through my whole thought process there. Oh, dang.
Down here in the Metro, we have Carolina and New York. The second round, I have Carolina winning here. I'll say 6 or 7 games. I think pretty much all these series are going to go 6 or 7 games. Nobody's getting just wiped out, but I will go Carolina here. The goaltending thing, like you said, is a worry with Freddie Anderson out, but yeah, I'll go Carolina.
Is he supposed to come back? Or is he done?
Everybody's day to day. Like there's no hockey is so it's like upper body injury, lower body injury.
They never tell you what's actually wrong.
You never, as a fan, you never know what's happening.
Yeah.
I wish they'd kind of do that with other sports like NFL, so make players not seem like big wimps, like bruised finger out for 2 weeks.
Yeah. I remember when in baseball, they got the moth in the ear. Yeah. You remember that? Yeah. Just say like or something. I don't know.
I think I'm gonna. I don't really know. Haven't watched either of these teams, but I'm gonna go with Carolina. I'm in South Carolina, so sure.
Rock with it.
Why not? This was another series I hadn't picked yet, so I'll probably just talk myself through it here again. But no, I think
I almost picked the Rangers just because of their goalie.
Right. That's what I'm thinking as well.
But then I was like, I don't like New York teams.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I have Boston or the Rangers. And I think, Boston obviously is one of the better defensive teams in the league. But I don't think their goalie is near as good actually. But I don't know. It's tough I'm going to go with the Rangers. That's
okay.
I'll cut myself off short here. So
locked in.
Yeah, locked in. Lock it in.
The Eastern Finals. So I believe we have Florida and Carolina. I have Florida here, and I think this one will go like shorter, maybe 6 games. I predict Florida in 5. Zach, what do you got here, Florida or Carolina?
I don't know. Flip a coin. Tough. I'm going against my philosophy of defense wins championships if I pick Florida.
Yeah.
But I'm going to pick Florida. They've just been hot. But I think, as you were saying, I think all these series could go 6, 7 games. Just like going through and looking at them, it's like good game, and like
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I'll pick Florida.
And then Colin, you have Florida and New York.
Calgary. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have Florida.
Okay. So then we all have Florida and Calgary, correct? Wow, look at that. It's kind of a surprise, actually.
I picked all my things right here on the spot. So
Did you really?
yeah.
I'm actually going to go Calgary wins it all. I don't believe in Florida doing this all the way throughout. I think in the East you're going to have these long series that kind of wear you down, and I think the Calgary's going to run through Dallas. I think Calgary can run through. I had Los Angeles Kings there. I think they run through the Kings. I think the Avs, then they might go 7 or something. But I think Calgary's going to be more well rested. They have superstar offensive potential. Their defense questionable, and then Markstrom, the back end is fantastic. So I have Calgary winning it all.
I'm gonna go Calgary as well. They've only allowed 208 goals this whole year, which is up there with the top defensive teams. I really have no idea if they're good at defense or not, but they didn't allow that many goals, so they did something good. And I just think, as we've seen in a lot of other sports, teams that are really good at offense and then are not that great at defense, they always seem to be good, and then it gets to the big championship game, and then they just kind of hit a point where they just sputter out, and then the other team takes advantage and wins it. So I'm going to go Calgary.
I have Calgary as well. I think overall they're a more well-balanced team, and like Zach said, defense wins championships. AJ, in this sense, I guess you agree with that. So that's good. But no, I think goaltending, they have the edge there. I think defensively, they definitely have the edge. They have, I think, an easier road. So I got Calgary.
Look at that.
Which I think I don't remember when the last time a Canadian team won the Stanley Cup. It's been a long time.
Wow. That's true. It has been a long time. I was thinking the Canadians, because they've won so many. And they made it last year but lost. Are you looking that up?
Yep.
Okay.
It's 30 years ago.
Wow.
Dang.
That's actually amazing.
It was the Canadians, yeah.
Okay. They're the easy
USA.
choice. But again, they start Monday night, which is tomorrow because we're filming right now, but should be a lot of fun. The East is a conference that really should be, I mean, if you're not a hockey fan, I think this time of year, if you're not a hockey fan, like sit down and like watch a game. I think they're this like whole playoffs is going to be phenomenal. Hockey is an amazing sport in general. It's one of my favorites. I mean, it's just growing on my list the more I watch it. Obviously, let's go Blues, and we'll see how it goes.
This is the time of the year when I become a hockey expert to actually watch the games.
Like you said before we started filming, a lot of it's on like national television too. So
yeah,
a lot of people can watch this, and more accessible for sure. The NBA is going into round 2, your guys' favorite time of the episode. A little quick recap on round 1. In the East, the Celtics swept the Nets, which was kind of a shock because obviously the Nets have Kyrie and KD. The Bucks beat the Bulls in 5 games. The Sixers beat my Raptors in 6. That was brutal. I don't really want to talk about it. The Heat beat the Hawks in 5. And in the West, the Suns beat the Pelicans in 6. The Pelicans pushed them a little bit. The Mavs beat the Jazz in 6. And I think it's the end of the current Jazz team. They're definitely going to be splitting up Rudy and Donovan Mitchell. The Warriors beat the Nuggets in 5. And then the Grizzlies beat the Wolves in 6, which that kind of surprised me that the Wolves kind of pushed them that much. Round 2 here, we have the Celtics and Bucks, Heat versus Sixers. And in the West, we have the Suns versus the Mavs, and the Grizzlies versus the Warriors. So we're filming this on Sunday. We have seen 2 games already. The Bucks kind of wiped through the Celtics, which in Boston, which kind of surprised me. And then the Grizzlies played the Warriors.
AJ?
Oh, it was like 68-68 last time I checked. But a lot of good basketball so far. I'm really surprised that the Bucks wiped them. something that's gonna. What's that?
Oh, you were just cutting out there for a little bit.
Oh, was I really? Am I
Yeah,
back?
yeah, you're good. You're good now.
Yeah, you're back,
Okay.
man.
Stay still. No, I'm kidding.
But no, what I was saying was the Bucks wiped through the Celtics today, which was kind of surprising to me. Tatum was awful. I think he was 5 for 19. Giannis had a triple double, but he was 8 for 23. And I don't think Middleton is back, or if he was,
I think he's gonna be out this whole series.
wow. So yeah, they're very impressive right now. A lot of role players coming up big for them. Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, just Notre Dame boy. But yeah, they're coming up big. Who do you guys have in that series, Celtics or Bucks? Do you think Bucks are just gonna wipe away?
I think it'll be competitive, but I think this is one of the Celtics' weaknesses is they're not that big.
Mm-hmm.
They're not tall. And I think the Bucks are they have some tall dudes. Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez, and Giannis is a freak.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is gonna be like the Bucks are gonna sweep them or anything. I think the Celtics will get it together and make it competitive.
See, I had
But
the Celtics.
you had them winning it all.
I had them win it all.
I had them losing to the Nets first round, which I wanted the Celtics to win,
Yeah.
but I had the Bucks going really far, so I picking the Bucks.
I think you have.
But if the
them winning it
Celtics
all.
win, I won't be mad. Like I like Jason Tatum.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a deep series. I think it's going to go deep. I don't think the 5 for 19 Jason Tatum is what you're going to see throughout the whole series. I think they were like, I don't remember what it was, like 12 for 50 from 3 today. Just could not shoot anything, and nothing was going in.
They shot 53s. Is that like normal in the NBA to shoot that much?
No, that was the high amount for sure. Another series in the East, though, the Heat and the Sixers. That's one to watch because the Sixers actually Joel Embiid for the immediate future. He's possibly out the whole series and
got whacked in the face.
Yeah, so Pascal Siakam drove to the Bucks, and a lot of people thought it was on purpose. It honestly did look on purpose. He went over afterwards, and Embiid said, "They're great friends. I know he wouldn't do that to me. Whatever."
Embiid said, "F you."
Yeah, seriously, man. But no, he has an orbital fracture and a concussion, so he's going to be out. Whoever knows how long. They said Devin Booker was going to be out 2 to 3 weeks, and he's already back.
What did he have?
1 week. Embiid?
No, Booker.
He had something in his hamstring, like a hamstring strain. But they said 2 to 3 weeks, and he's back. Which is really surprising.
We can ask Colin. Colin, what's the timetable for return on a concussion?
Depends on how many you have. My first one was about 3 weeks. My second one was about 2 weeks, and my third one was about 18 months. So yeah.
So a wide variety of time.
Quite the range, yeah.
But if they're without Embiid, I think the Heat could sweep them. James Harden, I've never liked James Harden, but he is not controlling the game as much as he has in the past. He's not as dominant. And watching that whole Raptors-Sixers series, we were without Fred VanVleet for the last couple games, which is our all-star and kind of runs the whole thing. And but they were really shutting down James Harden. A great game 6, but besides that, it was really like, how do you stop Embiid? But again, without Embiid, I think the Heat could win in 4 or 5.
Yeah, I agree. And also the Heat are extremely good at defense. They can switch probably 1 through 5, unless their worst defenders by far Duncan Robinson. So do not have him guard James Harden.
Yes.
But James Harden plays a style where he does pass the ball a lot, but when he takes shots, they always are contested. And he just has these times where he takes a high volume of shots and makes a very low percentage and can only get points from the free throw line. And I don't know who the Sixers backup center is, but they're not going to be able to control the paint. I think Bam Adebayo is going to assert his dominance.
So that's the problem. The Sixers have no depth whatsoever. Their bench has George Niang, Paul Millsap, and have DeAndre Jordan on the roster. but so he'll probably have to play. He didn't play.
Didn't
at
they
all
have Andre Drummond?
They had Drummond, and then they traded him in that Ben Simmons trade.
Oh,
So he was with Brooklyn, but I think in the West we have the Suns versus the Mavs. Was I cutting out again?
Yep.
Oh, my bad.
it's all good. We didn't say anything, so
The Suns versus the Mavs in the West. Again, Devin Booker is back. I do have the Suns here. I'm cheering for the Mavs, but I think it's going to be a pretty tight series. The Mavs need more than Luka to win. They need Spencer
they have
Dinwiddie.
Jalen Brunson. What are you talking about?
He has been taking over, hasn't he? We talked about him last week, but they need some bigs to come through. Dwight Powell needs to play well against DeAndre Ayton. But do we all agree Suns here?
I want the Mavs to win. I think I
want
picked
the
the Mavs
Mavs.
to win.
Okay. And then the Grizzlies Warriors is the other West matchup. This one could go 7. I mean, it's kind of a chippy series. Ja has been like hitting the gritty on everybody. I don't know if you guys see this.
You had fined for
But-
doing it on the Timberwolves logo.
He was so Desmond Bain kind of broke Steph today. He kind of like pulled the ball back on like a crossover, and Steph kind of stumbled a little bit. And while he was shooting the 3, Ja was already hitting the gritty down the court. I mean, it was just like it's nonstop. But no, who I have here, I think I'll go Warriors. But I would not be surprised if the Grizzlies came out with
Yeah, I'm going Warriors. I think the Grizzlies, they escaped. Or I really think the Timberwolves should have won.
Mhm.
And my reason is going to be very stupid. And it is because one thing, they were 3-0 whenever a protester ran on the floor.
Yeah.
And if their owner was smart, he would have just hired someone to run on the floor, because maybe I think it just gives them good mojo. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think if they had some more protesters in those last games, I think the
That's
Timberwolves
what
would have
they
won.
needed.
But
No, the Wolves though have a really bright future with what they
I
have
agree.
over there. You and I agreed that we're not like Karl Anthony Towns, but we both do like Anthony.
he
Edwards.
showed up in that their deciding game. He was
Did you
lights
see the
out.
video of him like saying goodbye to the crowd? There was something weird about that to me. How he was doing it. I mean, usually you wave goodbye to the crowd or whatever. Maybe give him a fist bump or something. But he was like blowing kisses, and then he kept kissing his wrist, and he was like borderline crying. He's an odd dude. There's something off about him.
Also, he's 6'11", huge center. And he jacks up a 3 like 10 feet behind the 3-point line. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's your strength.
Yeah, I know. He's never been that big that can just bully ball down low. He's more of a stretch 5, really. And he's a fantastic player, all-star, but definitely not like an Embiid or Jokic that can just back you down. I do want to finish off with our NFL draft reaction here. A lot happened. I got the first 2 picks right.
It was a
and
crazy
everything-
draft.
Everything fell through.
I, as a lifelong Jacksonville Jaguars fan, am mad that they took Trayvon Walker, because I didn't even know this guy was until the week of the draft, and everyone's like, "This guy's number 1." All of a sudden, I'm like, "Who the heck is he?" And he's apparently a very raw player. I think he only had 9 sacks his whole college career, which I feel like if you're picking number 1, you want some guy who dominated in college, and also he played on a defense that was really good and had other amazing defensive players. So I think that also kind of factors into how good he was. But if I was Jacksonville, I would have taken an offensive lineman. You got a generational quarterback. I'm going to say it, generational quarterback, and you got to protect him.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
on
wasn't a fan of that pick.
On their defensive line, don't they have like a decent defensive line? They have that Josh Allen.
He's an outside
Um,
linebacker kind of guy.
Okay.
I if I was them, I guess we can talk about it, but I still think Kayvon Thibodeaux is. I think he could still be the best, better than Trayvon Walker and Aiden Hutchinson. I just think he's more quicker and explosive. But
it surprised me. I mean, I picked them to pick him just because the talk was kind of
Mhm.
surrounding him near the draft. But Aiden Hutchinson, I was a better pick if they wanted to go for a more
Yeah.
proven guy right now. But I agree with you. I mean, I think we all three agreed they needed to go offensive line. And Evan Neal dropped from Alabama to the 7th pick, and he was like the first pick projected a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
that I kept seeing, and I thought they should have gone with him.
Him or the guy from NC State. That guy's gigantic too. They're
Yes.
both big. Evan O'Neal 6'7", 350. Akeem Ukawono 6'4", 320.
Yeah. Big people.
Yeah, there's a lot of good offensive linemen in this draft.
The Lions picked Aiden Hutchinson second, which is not a shock because he obviously was not picked first. He was the next highest.
And it was really cool
possibility.
because he went to Michigan and is from, I'm assuming he's from Michigan.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly. So, I mean, he can stay home, which is great for him. Derek Stingley went third to the Texans. Kind of a surprise for me.
Yeah.
I agree. For you guys?
He was good his freshman year, then had some injuries and hasn't really been as good. I know when he came in as a freshman, he was probably a super highly tout out recruiting prospect. Like they were thinking he was going to be number 1 overall draft pick, but I think I would have taken Sauce Gardner, cornerback over him, as he never allowed a touchdown in his college career, which still is mind boggling to me.
Unbelievable. But yeah, Sauce Gardner went 4th to the Jets. Also surprising to me that the Jets went this direction with it. I thought Sauce Gardner was going to farther, maybe even 10 or 11.
Oh, really? I thought he was going to go pretty early.
You think so? Or you thought so? And then Thibodeau, like you mentioned, he went 5th to the Giants. I think they're kind of hoping it's like another Michael Strahan. What's the Tuck? I don't remember his first name.
They also had Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, that's true.
He's probably better than both.
What was Tuck's first name?
Justin Tuck.
Justin, yeah.
Yeah.
So I hope, maybe they're hoping he's another one of those. I think he's a tremendous talent. And throughout the whole college season, he was the number 1 guy everybody was talking about.
Speaking about his draft, the kid who was there who had the heart transplant, he was getting me hyped up. Did you guys see that? You didn't see he announced the pick?
Who was that?
It was a special person he was like, it was his make-a-wish. And he had like a heart transplant and had a new heart. And his make-a-wish was to announce the New York Giants' first pick in the draft. And he was like pumped up. He was like screaming, yelling. You got to look it up.
Yeah.
And after Kayvon did the really weird handshake with Roger Goodell, the kid went over there and was like getting hyped up. He was like yelling. He was like, oh, and he like was hugging him and he was like pumped. He was getting me excited.
But
awesome. Everyone on Twitter and Instagram they're like, we were really scared he was getting too worked up with his new heart.
Yeah. The Ikem Ekwonu went 6th to the Panthers. I had it here.
You had who?
Kenny Pickett.
I really don't think Kenny Pickett. I don't think a lot of these quarterbacks in this draft are going to be that great, to be honest. But you traded all that stuff for Sam Darnold. You got to at least try.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. I mean, that's a very good point. And I guess Ekwonu, their plan is to have him protect them.
Also, you have a blocker for what's his face? Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. And then Evan Neal went 7th to the Giants. I think the Giants might be my winner.
I'm not a fan. I am not happy with it because they play in my division.
Yes.
Also, the Eagles are probably really good. Literally every team except we probably had the worst draft out of the NFC East.
The Eagles made a huge move. AJ Brown joining the squad.
Yes. Very surprised about that.
I'm very shocked.
And then the Titans picked a younger version of him in the draft.
Yes. Yeah.
They said he has to get custom gloves because his hands are so big.
Treylon Burks, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I kept seeing like comps to AJ Brown. Like he's literally just him.
It's just him. They just replaced him.
Literally.
Spend less money on a replacement guy.
Drake London went 8th to the Atlanta Falcons. Thought that was kind of interesting, kind of high maybe. I thought he was going to fall more in the middle of the first round. And I picked them to pick Malik Willis. And let's get on to the Malik Willis talk here. Like 3rd round. We all know it's not a high year for quarterbacks, but 3rd round seems like crazy to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I know the Seahawks got Drew Lock, and I kept we had 4 picks go by, and I was like, maybe Malik Willis, just for fun.
You guys should wait next year.
So what are some names next year? Do you know any right now?
Bryce Young, CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
DJ Youngale if he comes back better this year.
But yeah, Drake London went 8th, and then Seattle. Honestly, I think they made a good pick with Charles Cross, the tackle from Mississippi State, at the 9.
Maybe if they made a pick like this when Russell Wilson was playing, he wouldn't have left.
He wouldn't want to leave. Yeah, it's going to be a long season. I'll just leave it at that. And then
this part right here in the draft is when 3 trades in a row.
Yeah.
4 trades. There was trades starting with the Seattle pick, and then the next 4 picks were trades for another team, and then 3 receivers go right in a row.
So I don't know much about Garrett Wilson. He went 10th. I know more about Olave.
They're both really, really good.
Really?
They're just really fast, big play, just super athletic guys.
And then Jamison Williams went 12th to the Lions. He's from Alabama, and he's from St. Louis area, isn't he?
Yes.
I saw a bunch of St. Louis people.
They said he set the state record for the 300-meter. I don't know if there's a 300-meter dash, maybe 300-meter hurdles.
Okay. But he went to the Lions, and I think that's a tremendous pick for the Lions. They need.
I think he's the best receiver. Watching him in those last games, it also says on CBS, the guy who's doing the thing, it said this is the best receiver in the draft. But watching him in those last games, he was electric. He's so fast and so quick. He obviously is hurt right now, so he probably won't start beginning of the year, but I would have loved for him to have been at the combine just to see his 40 time.
Yeah, I think that was why he fell below Olave, Wilson, and London, just because of that injury in that championship game. The big man, Jordan Davis from Georgia, went 13th to Philly.
Of course, all the good defensive people are going to teams that we had to play against. It's going to be a lot harder to run against the Eagles.
Stacking up to face you guys.
Hopefully he gets very overweight like Zion.
And then, Colin, you can finally come back in here with the Kyle Hamilton pick.
Let's go. I was going to jump in a little earlier, too, with that Drake London pick. That kid can flat freaking play. He, because we saw him live, and he put up,
he played.
He had 12 catches for 250 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns against us. I mean, he's so fast. And I mean, he was open no matter we were playing man coverage, he's open. We were playing his zone coverage, he's open. He found.
And your guys' defense was pretty good this year, wasn't it?
Defense was really good this year. He just found the gaps in our defense every single time. So I mean, he's very, very talented player. But yeah, Kyle Hamilton, I was surprised he dropped this low. I think that's a really good pickup for the Ravens. I mean, he's one of the best, or one of the most athletic, talented players overall. And I think he dropped so far because he had he didn't run a good 40 time. But his unofficial 40 time, from before the actual combine, was 0.2 seconds lower than what he actually ran. So I don't know if it was.
And on the field, he looks fast. I don't get that.
Yeah.
Where it's let's time the player, a safety running dead straight. How often do they run dead straight 40 yards? Only when they're chasing someone if they get by him.
And he's just got really good instincts. I mean, there was the amount of times where he just the quarterback's still looking him off, and he's running the other way and goes and picks off the ball. It's insane. He's also pretty massive. I think he's 6'4", 230. So he's a big dude. It's I think it's a really good pick, and I think he's gonna make a serious immediate impact.
I agree with you. And everyone wanted the Ravens to take a receiver because they traded Hollywood Brown to the Cardinals. But sometimes you just got to take the best player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Seahawks need a lot of things, but the secondary is one of those things. And I thought they were going to go Kyle Hamilton. I kept reading a bunch of things about it, and I was kind of looking forward to it. Definitely a good pickup for the Ravens, correct? Ravens?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
I think
then-
the Ravens also drafted Tyler Beatty, I think, right? In like the 7th round.
Yeah.
So okay.
Tyler Beatty was really good for Mizzou, like super good.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
just
Wasn't he the SEC's like all-time leading rusher?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. They would just give him the ball like 30 times a game.
Seriously.
He was their whole offense.
He's
Definitely.
a workhorse.
Do you guys have any other picks throughout really the whole draft? I really just wanted to go over the top 10 or so. The one that just kind of funny, Dalvin Cook's brother, James Cook, got drafted 53rd to the Buffalo Bills. And did you guys see the video of him getting drafted?
He did not look happy.
No, I said something like he was getting in the argument before drafted. Oh man, it's so funny. Like he just looks completely ticked off the entire time. And then obviously, like we said, Malik Willis fallen to the Titans in like the 3rd round. Kind of a shock. I think I don't know what the plan is with Tannehill. I don't know if they
Daniels is getting older. He's in his 30s.
he is. Exactly. So I think they plan on
And that's a
Malik to be the
situation
guy.
where Malik Willis can sit for a couple of years. They don't have to rush him in straight into it. And so he's ready to go.
I like it. Do you guys have anything else though?
I do.
NFL-wise?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Cowboys took Tyler Smith from Tulsa. Pissed about this decision because they could have taken Tyler Lindenbaum, who the Ravens picked, who I thought was a great decision. And like Tyler Smith, he's a big dude, huge, could be really good. He's very raw. But the one thing I didn't like is Mel Kiper doing his analysis and said he's a penalty waiting to happen. And in the Cowboys, if you ever watch a Cowboys game, I know because I watch all their games. The biggest thing is whenever something good happens, there's always a penalty. And one of our linemen, Connor Williams, who we drafted and we let him walk, every time there's a big play, holding. And I feel like this guy's going to do exactly the same thing. But so hopefully he becomes good. He's a big dude. CBS, for some reason, gave us an A grade for this. I don't know what they're
That's crazy.
smoking, but I would have taken Tyler Lindenbaum and had an amazing center. But we also got rid of Lyle Collins for some reason. And now we have penalty boy to replace him. So I'm cheering for him, even though this is very negative.
I said like I was trying to wrap it up. I forgot I have 2 more points here. Cole Strange got picked. He's a guard to the Patriots with the 29th pick. There was a video that went out about the Rams, Sean McVay, and I believe I want to say their GM. And did you see this video about how they were
Yeah,
kind of
they're laughing.
just crapping on the guy, really? Like we were wasting our viewing him for the 104th pick. And I was thinking, like, I hope Cole Strange goes crazy, but how much can a guard do that, that stands out?
Yeah.
You can't really make any like highlight film plays or anything. And the other one was George Galif or Karlaftis. George Karlaftis. He went 30th to the Chiefs, defensive end. I literally am only saying this because I saw what his Chipotle order is. And he gets 3 servings of brown rice, 3 servings of steak, and 1 serving of cheese. And that is it. It was odd. Kind of dry.
Yeah, a little bit. That's
Yeah.
I have a couple other little things about the draft. First is Andrew Booth from Clemson. He got picked in the 2nd round by the Vikings, which I think is a absolute steal. I know that he wasn't considered, or the people on the thing were saying like Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley, this other dude, and then there's a huge drop off. I've watched Andrew Booth my entire time here at Clemson. He's one of the best corners I've ever seen. He's probably the best open field tackler I've ever seen. A running back will be outside. He goes right for the legs, wraps him up. And I sent this video to AJ. He is a very good at attacking the ball or going for the ball. And he made this incredible interception where he was running back, kept his eyes on the quarterback the entire time, came up and like backhand caught it one-handed and pulled it in. He's made some incredible interceptions. I think he's going to be a stud. And
Where
also
did he go?
out of the Vikings.
Oh, I see it here. Okay.
And Michigan's other defensive end, that David Ojabo, who I believe got hurt. He got hurt at their pro day, but the Ravens picked him up. And I think that's kind of a nice pickup too, because he was supposed to be projected at one point. He was projected, or they projected him and Hutchinson going like 1 and 2 in the draft.
Yeah.
And what the heck? Take a risk, see if it pans out.
Yeah. I think the Ravens are one of the winners of the draft also. We mentioned the Kyle Hamilton thing. They're always really close, it seems like.
They're really good at defense.
Yeah.
They just Lamar, they don't have receivers.
Yeah. And then so where are they going to go receiver route then? So they got rid of Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
He went to the Cardinals. So I mean, what route do they go receiver wise here?
They drafted Rashad Bateman last year, and he was hurt most of the year. So they're going to be hoping he plays really good. And then they have Duvernay.
That's right. He was more of like a special teams guy, I think, this last year. But
yeah, he's going to have to step up. I believe he played for Texas. He's a big target, I think.
And then obviously their tight end, Mark Andrews.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Obviously amazing.
What do you think about Desmond Ridder going to Atlanta?
So I predicted Malik going there, and I think it's the same thing applies then. I think he's going to, like you said, Mariota is a really smart guy. I think he can learn under him. But also Ritter's a mobile guy. So maybe do like a dual quarterback. I mean, they're kind of similar, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're both kind of mobile. I think you could do like a dual quarterback type of thing.
Ritter's not as quick though.
Like speed wise, like running.
Like I think the 40 time doesn't represent his quickness. I don't think he's as quick as like Mariota or some of those other runners. I think he's kind of like Cam Newton, where it takes him a little bit to get up to speed.
Yeah. Where did Sam Howell go?
He went to I was going to mention that. He went in the 5th round to the Commanders, the Commies.
That's right.
And I think he could be one of the best quarterbacks in the draft. He was lighting up the ACC as a freshman and last year. And I'm big on, like, you have to be good in college, because sometimes they get these people who just have the raw natural skills, like, oh, they're tall and big.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're a quarterback and they have a big arm and they automatically get drafted like in the 1st round. But if you can't have good completion percentage and stuff like that, and throw a lot of interceptions in college, it's like, how are you getting drafted that high?
And I think the NFL is different than the NBA or MLB, because if you draft a guy just pure off, raw potential, in the MLB you can send him to the minors for a few years, or in the NBA, if you're like the Magic and you get like a Mo Bamba a few years ago, you're not going to be good, so you can kind of just like build like while you play. I don't think you can really do that in the NFL as much, at least, to where you can't really just throw guys out there, and you can learn from it if you're a young guy, but I mean, you have to be more than just raw talent, like you were saying. I mean, if you play at the college level and face tough competition and prove yourself at the college level, I think it's going to be more beneficial, transferring to the end.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I was just looking through the rounds. Did you guys know the Ravens, with one of their 4th round picks, took a punter?
Wasn't he like known for like being like having videos of like crazy punts or something?
I don't know.
Because there's something crazy about that. I didn't read.
He had to be crazy to be drafted that high as a punter.
Yeah. And then the last thing I had was the Bears need weapons around Justin Fields, and they did nothing besides get Velus Jones with the 71st pick, and I think he's like 25.
What position is he? Is he a receiver?
Receiver. Let's see, but I want to say he's like 24 or 25. Yeah, he's 24. He'll be 25 on May 11th.
Where'd he play?
10. But it's just crazy to me that he's 25 already.
Yeah, I agree. My last thing about the draft is it's Clemson related. So do you guys know who Justin Ross is, receiver on Clemson? He went undrafted. he didn't even get drafted, and his freshman year he played really good and was projected probably a first-round pick. And yeah, he didn't get drafted, which was very surprising to me. And I think he'll go somewhere, but hopefully he gets a shot because I think he could be a very good player. That was kind of a big shock for me, but
So that's I think all we have today for today's episode. Hopefully a little like technical difficulties didn't go through there. I think I stopped a couple times. You guys stopped for me a couple times. So hopefully that's okay for everybody watching and listening. We do plan on, we had talked about maybe trying to the best of our abilities, coming out with 2 a week. Obviously shorter episodes each one, and it kind of, we don't have to cover a whole week of sports in one episode.
cover stuff more close to when it happens.
Exactly.
Right.
Because it's kind of hard to cover the Mets Cardinals brawl after we've
Exactly.
kind of cooled down a little bit after really
Exactly.
hot when it first happened.
And then I put a poll on our Instagram and my own Instagram about to rather have 2-part episodes or 1-part episodes, and the majority, I think it was like 95% on my own Instagram that said one just full episode. Because if I had somebody talking to me about it, and if we had some, like you said, the Arenado thing happen, and then later in the week we put it, I mean, so much stuff has already happened, and like, yeah, so
We forget.
exactly. So hopefully we can, work our schedules around that and do 2 episodes a week. We do, like I mentioned last week, have interviews lined up. We're talking about a baseball guy next week that plays for Hannibal. That's a guy that we were discussing. I've talked to him a little bit, but yeah, posting a lot on TikTok now, trying to branch out. Obviously the YouTube videos, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. But we will see you guys next week.
See you guys.
See you guys.